Guys, last night, finally, some actual big revelations came from the latest dump of Epstein files. So here are the 4 main things that you need to know about and get locked in, because this one's kind of wild. First key takeaway. Holy shit, we actually got emails between FBI personnel mentioning 10 possible co-conspirators of Epstein. And that's actually a huge development because up until now, the official narrative from the Department of Justice has always been there's no one else, there's Epstein, there's Maxwell. In fact, earlier just this year, Kash Patel testified under oath that there was no credible information that Epstein trafficked young women to anyone else other than himself. In fact, it got to the point where the majority of these 10 co-conspirators were served with subpoenas by the FBI. Frustratingly, a lot of these names were actually redacted, which also raises a lot of questions because we were told that all of these redactions were supposed to protect victims, not the alleged co-conspirators. Now, why the FBI stopped pursuing these people like they were doing in 2019 is unknown. Second key takeaway is that Trump is actually mentioned a lot in these files that dropped last night, unlike the first batch. Now, to be clear, there are a number of documents from these files which mention Trump that are either tips or just unproven allegations, but also pieces that are verifiably false, and we'll get into that in a second. But one of the most credible things so far is that in a 2020 email, a federal prosecutor spoke about receiving new flight records showing that Trump had traveled on Epstein's jet many more times than even they were previously aware of. Again, still no smoking gun, but geez, it's starting to get dicey now. Third is that there was a wild email in these files from someone who described themselves only as Invisible Man and just the letter A. And they were asking Ghislaine Maxwell if she had found any new inappropriate friends for them yet. And we know that this person has got to be pretty important because they were at a summer camp at the time of sending this email for the royal family. Yeah, and then the fourth and last key takeaway is the pretty strange behavior of how the Department of Justice is actually releasing these files. Firstly, they broke the law by releasing these in multiple batches and not just all at once. Secondly, they heavily redacted a lot of questionable information. They've poorly redacted a lot of these pages, and people are literally getting around the redactions now by simply copying and then pasting the text into their notes and see what's underneath those bars. And then, most bizarrely, especially from last night, they're including files that are verifiably fake. For example, there is this letter that was purportedly sent by Epstein to Larry Nassar, and there's a whole thing going into there, as well as a fake video showing Epstein in his prison cell. Both of them, they say, are fake. And so that really starts to raise questions about why or how these were allowed to be included, if even they are saying that they are fake. What do you guys think? Are we getting closer, or is it just, again, more fluff?